But it's a deep race. It's a very competitive Supreme Novices in my view. Jetski's a big player, Attheraces a big player, all his forms on soft ground, but Willie Mullins thinks that he handled better ground, okay. But I think at the prices, Jetski at about 5 to 1 is, I think he's a little bit overpriced at that. The turn of foot that he showed in winning the future champion Novices Hurdle at Leopardstown was really impressive. Jesse Harden thinks an awful lot of him. JP McManus bought him, and once he bought him, they decided to leave him off and keep him fresh for the Supreme Novices Hurdle. He was actually favourite for the race before My 10 Years won the Betfair Hurdle. Robbie Power is very happy that he did, because he gets to ride. AP McCoy's obviously chosen to ride My 10 Years, but the turn of foot that Jesse showed, I think that'll be a potent weapon at Cheltenham. And if he can jump, if he jumps the last there upsides, that could take him home.
Barry, it looks like you're going to ride River Meg for Nicky Henderson in the race. I'm sure you're probably prepared to be riding the other Henderson horse in the race, but I'm sure your lad has a bit of a squeak. Has he have an each way shout?
Yeah, I think he has a chance. His form is a bit checkered, but he's in great form at home, and I think he's an each way chance. Probably doesn't want too much rain, but I'd like to think he'll run a good race. For me, I've won 3 on Jetski. I've ridden My 10 Years a few times. I know him well. There's no value on My 10 Years. He is a very good horse, but that race in Newbury, it was a big step up in form than anything he'd done before. So, I'd just be a little bit suspect about how strong that race was. Jetski is rock solid, and I think he's good value at 5 to 1.
Okay, thanks very much, Barry. Leon, you were over in Paul Nicholls' yard. I was there with you that day, and he said that Dodging Bullets is very much the forgotten horse of the race. Would you give him a chance?
I suppose he's pretty similar to Alfroth. Nobody really gave him a chance in the Supreme Novices, and then he came up and obviously won it. I'm not going to go for Dodging Bullets. I'm a huge fan of Uli too. And the 2 runs.
See him winning here.
Well, I mean, the 2 runs over hurdles so far have been facile victories, Dennis. Yeah. He was as big as 33 to 1. He's all the way down now to 7 to 1. Yes, I agree with Donn, his form is on testing conditions, but I think that's what it's going to be on the first day. It's raining in Cheltenham right now. It should have continued to rain until Sunday. So I think it's going to be quite tacky, sticky ground, which I think will suit him over 2 miles. His bumper win, Mr. Weld had a very
You can hold it there, sorry, you can hold it there, thanks, Tony.
Mr. Weld had a respected horse in the race. He was pulled out because I think he heard how good this Uni 2 was. He won his bumper by 20 odd lengths. For me, that's good enough. The favourite, I'm more than happy to take him on at 7 to 4. My 10 to yours. The Supreme Novices Hurdle has a terrible record, and I'd actually give Jetski a better chance than the 2 Mr. McManus horses, but I'm going to stick with Uni 2.
Okay, thanks, Leon. Dave, this race is a difficult race to win. They go a million miles an hour, and it's interesting that the last 8 favourites in the Supreme Novices have been beaten, so it's a bit of a punter's graveyard.
I'd agree with Barry. I think the Betfair Hurdle was a handicap, and if you take my 10 to yours out of it, it's an argument to be made that any of the horses that were placed in the Betfair Hurdle could win the Supreme Novices. I'd say they wouldn't finish within 100 yards of these horses. This is as good a Supreme Novices as we've had for a long, long time. And Jetski is the only dual grade 1 winner in the race. If My 10 to yours was out of the race, he'd be 6 to 4, 2 to 1 favourite. I think at 5 to 1, he's a bet to nothing each way. He's a tremendous turn of foot. He's done nothing wrong. He's unbeaten over hurdles. Barry has a very high opinion of him as well. To me, I'm not suggesting he's an Irish banker, but definitely each way at that price, I can't see him not involved. Willie Mullins will probably run 3. I'm not so sure that 1 or 2 is the best of those. I think Mazeltov might be the best. Willie was very impressed with him when he won a novice hurdle at Punchestown last month. He's definitely going to improve. The ground was very, very testing on that occasion. He was a very good bumper horse, and his buckets of experience. He's not out of it at 16 to 1. He's going to also run peak soon, but he probably wants better ground. And I think Champagne Fever is going to run at the Albert Bartlett. To me, My 10 to yours is probably the lay of the meeting at 7 to 4. I think it's a ridiculous price, and for me, I think the Irish are going to get off to a flyer with Jetski.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Kevin, the one thing about the opening race of the festival, and indeed the champion hurdle, it's very, very important from an Irish perspective to get a win on the board early, and for a fancied Irish horse to win. Last year we got a couple of good hot pots beaten, including Hurricane Fly, in the actual champion hurdle, and it sucked the life out of the festival. We don't want that to happen this year. Do you think there's a good chance there will be an Irish winner in the first race?
Yeah, look, I think there will be, to be honest about it, and I agree with what Barry and Dave and the rest of the panel have said. I think My 10 to yours is probably a hype horse because he was so impressive the last day. Monster gamble, job done. He's 7 to 4 favourite. He's no value I like Jesky. I'm a big fan of Jesky. He's a winner of 2 Grade 1s this season. He's quite versatile regards ground, and he jumped a lot better in Leopardstown than he did when Barry won him in Fairyhouse in the Royal Bond. I think he sets the standard. I think he's going to be hard to beat. 1 and 2 is, I think, a 3-par spur to Shardesham. He's looked exceptional on his 3 wins to date. He's never come off the bridle, but I think this horse could be better over a little bit further in time. Dodging Bullets isn't good enough. Melodic Rendezvous is a fair horse. He's a big chance. He's a good price of 10 to 1 if you're looking for an each way shout in it. Whether he runs on this or say the likes of the Neptune, I'm not 100% sure. He was runner up to Champagne Fever in the Cheltenham bumper. Barry spoke about River Meg. Champagne Fever, I'd say, I'll run in this race because Rich Ritchie obviously has Pont Alexander and Neptune, Casey in the Albert Bartlett. He wants to, he probably more than likely won't want 2 of his horses taking each other on. Puff and Billy was turned over by Melodic Rendezvous the last day. I don't think Moseltoff is good enough. And Peak Sue, Rock Critic doesn't run. Peak Sue could be the each way bet along with Melodic Rendezvous. If you're looking for a bit of value, those 2 are the value, and Jesky for me to win it.
Okay, thanks, Kevin. Barry, just a word on the ground. I mean, they're getting a little bit of rain there over the next couple of days. About 15 mils forecast, which is just over half an inch. How do you think that will? How do you think that will have the ground? Probably good to soft on the first day.
Yeah, I'd imagine the ground will be. It will be on the soft side. Frost might be a bigger threat than rain. They're putting their covers down at the back, the fronts and backs of the fences, just to keep the ground right there. But if the frost does come in hard, they're going to have to cover the whole track, which it sucks the life out of the ground and makes it dead and tacky. So it might be called good to soft, but it will ride slower and it'll be dead and it'll be hard work. So the weather will play a big